I told myself that we really have to take a sabbatical, a full 6 to 9 month cleanse, detox, in fact, from cuckoo Candace, because this amount of exposure to this amount of cuckoo is not sustainable. But then this happened. And y'all will understand why we're back here again once you guys see this. You think it cannot get worse. And I'm talking about on a daily basis, we've got drops now, right? This is at a Kanye level of just every day something more insane than the last day. We are now there when it comes to El Cucu, El Candelose. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just run this by you guys, and we will reconvene.
They're working on a narrative like they always do. They're coming in, they're squeezing, and they're trying to pretend that Charlie and I didn't speak for years. It could not be further from the truth. Okay? Charlie and I never for a single second stopped being friends. Ever. Never happened. They can't produce one shred of evidence to that effect. Nope. Just donors. And the donors at Turning Point need to be investigated. Because what I'm hearing, like I said, from Turning Point sources is not good. And guess what? If it's gotta be me, and you need to hate me forever, that's totally fine. On top of that, talk about a federal operation out of nowhere. Brigitte Macron just lies. I don't even know how they got this in the press. This is so dumb. Brigitte Macron comes out and says they have offered scientific evidence to the U.S. court to prove that Brigitte is a woman. That's what her lawyer says. Well, the lawyer's a liar because we haven't even started this case yet. So how could you have offered scientific proof to a court to prove you're a woman, especially because you're not suing me over the claim that I said you were born a man? You were born a man. Oh, I guess you're born a boy, a male is what I should say. You're born a male, and you've never sued anybody for making that statement. You sue for things around it. You're suing me because you're saying, well, you said I stole the identity from my sister. I'm not a thief. You've never sued anybody for the claim that you were born male. So I don't know what this is. Just like we're just going to all hound Candace to try to distract her from looking into Charlie Kirk's murder.
Okay. My last 3 brain cells are fighting for survival at this point, so I'm just going to go ahead and stop it right there. We've got more than enough cuckoo for the rest of our entire natural born lives. See, here's the thing. Actually, before I get to the thing, if you ever thought Candace was smart, like if you ever find yourself in a place in your life where you're like, man, she is kind of brilliant. Now, I did at a certain point in my life, right? This is back 2016, 2017, maybe even 2018, around that time. If you ever felt that way, don't consider yourself as an idiot necessarily. At least not fully at that time in your personal history. Instead, you can just think to yourself, well, doctors, lawyers, engineers, these types of individuals can even find themselves in a cult of personality. Right? There were doctors who drank the Kool-Aid when old Jimmy Jones said, drink the damn Kool-Aid. You understand me? Okay. Glad we got that out the way. Let us reconvene. So, old Candy, apple of my eye, Qatari, Khomeini, Owens, cuckoo. So, we have 2 specific fronts that she is now defending herself on the basis of. One is her making Charlie Kirk's assassination about herself. And number 2 is her entire make-believe 8-part series about whether or not Brigitte Macron has a boy part. Now, the second, you would think to yourself, why should we care? Fantastic question. Still trying to figure that one out. But what I do know is this. Isn't it interesting how this entire time she has been trying to point out the fact that there has been no irrefutable evidence given to the courts in order to prove that Brigitte was born a woman, right? This is the case that Cuckoo Candace, claims that she would hang her entire career on. She says that she is willing to lose her career off of this right here. She is willing to hang everything on this one specific case. Now she is being presented with the evidence, or at least the courts are being presented with the evidence that she claims was never presented to her. And all of a sudden, she makes them the bad guy for doing the exact thing she's been asking for. Mind you, she has also been petitioning, allegedly, she has been petitioning to get the lawsuit revoked. Now, again, she will sit there and say anything. She is a bold-faced liar. That's what she does. It's part of the entire shtick. Her audience eats it up as they would eat her literal fecal matter. They would eat it. I'm sorry for the visual, but they would eat it if she sold it to them for a high enough price. Okay? There is nothing she can say at this point that her cult cannot fully integrate into their own psyches. They're gone. Now, the rest of the world is waking up, and I'm talking about government officials, high-ranking pastors, and influential people in the world have essentially called cuckoo Candace out for exactly what she is. And most of it came on the backdrop of her using our brother Charlie Kirk as a platform for herself. There was a video that I played out in the last Cuckoo Candace video where a man who is on the board of Turning Point USA is essentially stating the facts that, look, it doesn't seem that they have been friends for the last few years. It's been quite a while since they've had a real relationship. And I'm not surprised by that because Cuckoo Candace is the type of individual to burn bridges every single where she goes. That's who she is. That the character is shown through exhibited habits, personality, traits on a consistent basis. She uses one, throws them away, whether it is Gavin McGinnis, whether it is Prager, whether it is Ben Shapiro and the boys over there at Daily Wire, whether it's Laura Loomer, whoever it may be. Even Nick Fuentes has them on one time, bridge already burnt. And they're both proverbial bridge burners. It's what they both do. But we're talking about cuckoo today, so we got to focus in. So she is essentially stating that, there's no evidence that they were not friends. I would say the very same thing that you have been asserting with the other case. See how we tied this one in. Beautiful bow and tie. I would ask the question, dear cuckoo. You got to say 3 to 4 times to summon her. Why don't you present us with the evidence that you and Charlie were great friends? In the same way you might want to present the facts that he was on his way to becoming a Catholic, another lie that you told in the wake of his demise. Why don't you present us with the quote unquote facts that it was indeed Israel who did it all, the Jew? Why don't you present us with those facts? Or do you get to do what you've been doing the entire time? Do you get to continue to get away with the charade that you have been playing this entire time? Do you get to just do that? Is that what you get to do? Yeah. I guess when you're Cuckoo Candace, you can do whatever you want. You can lie. You can make things up, fabricate stories out of thin air, protect them with a thin veneer of antagonizing sort of energy. Yeah, if you guys ask yourselves, does he have time today? I got time today. Today, it's a little late, but I got time. So, you are using the platform of Charlie's passing, which should be an opportunity for us as conservatives, as Christians, as common sense, rational individuals on this earth here today, to push out a message of truth. But instead, you continue to perpetuate your lies for your own self-aggrandizement. Me and my lady had a conversation, and the subject of cuckoo did come up. But it comes up in this sort of way. People use metaphors as much as anything. She is the perfect example of what pride looks like and how pride always leads to destruction, or pride leads to the fall. That is a promise. When you are haughty in your spirit, you believe yourself to be the purveyor of all knowledge and wisdom, a knower in all things, right? You have every piece of information about every single thing that happened, more than the FBI, the CIA, the MIB, the Men in Black, and everybody in between. You happen to be the purveyor of all this truth. And of course, every now and then when you hear small creators like ourselves calling you out, then you try to play the little semantics game. And, you get that because you still want to keep social, you want to keep social acceptance. That is how the narcissist functions. And I mean, you're probably too self-centered to even hear this message if you were to hear it in this way. By the way, some folks want me to debate her and things of that nature. I'll be honest with y'all. Debating Candace, I think dating would probably be the same. George might let y'all on some insight on that one. Debating cuckoo Candace would be the equivalent of debating or dating a leftist. You're not going to get anywhere with them. There is no logic, no reason, no common sense left. It is all self-aggrandizement, pride, the first true original sin, right? The fall of the covering cherubim, Lucifer, son of the morning star himself, falls like a bolt of thunder because of his damn pride. You think yourself so damn wise. You think yourself so damn smart. You think you are so smart that you can outsmart the truth. No, ma'am. Now, again, I have not been around you, nor was I around Charlie in his last years, but I can only take the word of a majority of individuals who were around him and who simply didn't see you around, who knew that he was distancing himself from you because you were going down that rabbit hole. There was a break in that relationship. I don't know what extent. Maybe you still texted back and forth, but we didn't see. You like to bring receipts, right? We didn't see any receipts. So we can only jump to assumptions. We can only make assertions about what's really going on. You've lied to us so many times. You know what I mean? You have lied to us so many times. How are we supposed to believe you at this point? Why this time? So we have, again, park that one, even though it is the most important of the two, because we're still trying to figure out why it is that you care so much, whether or not this woman has a boy part. Who cares? Now, the part that I do care about, and that's a personal moral standing, is that was a 14, 15-year-old boy, and that was a 38-year-old woman, grown woman and a boy. That's weird. Now, according to French law, even in that time, they said that that was okay as long as it was mutual. I think that's weird behavior. I think that is fill in the blank. Now, if the case was built on that, then you probably are kind of good to go. I mean, unless you're, going against French law. But if that was the case, that's one thing. But instead, you have said that, Macron is a CIA operative who went through the MK Ultra system, and this Brigitte was used as a means for him to become the. And I've watched some incredible espionage films. I know that our government is not always the most honest, et cetera, et cetera. Look at this phone going off. Sorry, phone. We got time today. We can't get into that. We got time today. No time for this call, but time for this video. So you have the espionage thing that you're getting sued off of. You have the defamation aspect of, how somehow she is her own brother pretending to be the sister who passed away and gave her identity to her brother. But then the brother has been seen years later, but then the brother is not seen because Candace said so. So, okay, you're being sued on that. And then also in that lawsuit has to do with the claims of you asserting that she is a man. I mean, that ties into the entire lawsuit. And here she is, who knows, presenting this evidence, and it's not enough. Why? Because you got to continue to kick the can down the damn road in order to keep your minions right here. Right? That's what you got to do with your minions. You got to keep them here in Dominion. Dumb minion. You understand me? Ooh, that's a bar. Yes, Massa. Oh, Massa Cuckoo left us some crumbs. Let's get some crumbs. The rest of the world is waking up and has been part of my calling. It's been part of my calling. I've been called on. In the same way I was called upon to change my name back to its original state. Change from Aquarius to Tinashe Peter. God is with us, a constant reminder. And I do believe that God is with us. I don't know if he's with you, Candace. He wants to be with you. He wants relationship with you, but you can't fake him into it just because you got a cross in the background. That's not how the real God of the universe works. The real God of the universe wants your heart, wants your allegiance, wants you, wants relationship with you. I've never seen you open a single book, let alone that book. I haven't. I've never heard you really get into it. I don't even know if you know it. I know what you do know, which is how to blame a Jew. But besides that, there's not much else left over there at the cuckoo camp. So yeah, as your empire continues to fall, I truly hope that you wake up in the midst of your fall. Don't be like the proud man who is falling and falling and falling and continuing to curse God as he or she falls. Don't be that person. You still have time right now. You still can wake up and be like, you know what? We ain't got to do all that. We don't. We can just remember how we started. And maybe that was never genuine to begin with. I don't know. I can only make the assertion that perhaps it wasn't genuine and you were looking for whatever angle would work best for you. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what that was about. But what I do know without a shadow of a doubt is that pride was first, and the fall is now. Turn from your ways now. Denounce the lies, the hatred, the vitriol, the pride. Let it go. Humble yourself. You know how many times I have to humble myself? I'm blessed with a platform. God gave me this platform as he gave me the platform that is called life. How many times I have deviated and said, it is I. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. But what about him? What about the creator? What about the one who gave you the purpose, who allowed you to have life? When does that one come into play? My assumption is probably when it comes to Cuckoo Candace, at this point, probably never. But again, it's not too late. You're here. You're breathing life into your lungs. It is not too late. You know what I mean by it's not too late, right? You know what I mean. And if you don't, then that means that cross behind you there has never meant anything to you. We've all been prideful. We have all been self-aggrandizing. We've all thought we had all the answers in the world. We all have. And even me, as I speak right now, why am I able to speak the way that I do? Can I be real with y'all? I don't use scripts. I don't have any sort of, okay, here's the structure of the video and this is what we're going to say. I don't use none of that. I don't use AI for even a thumbnail, let alone what I'm saying. Where this comes from is the one who sent me here. It flows through me with this level of ease because of who is working through me at this moment. And the messages, the warnings are going to be sent continuously to you as they are to me. Do not stray on your path. Don't go down that broad way, literally and figuratively. Stay on this path right here. Continue to tell the truth no matter what, even if it doesn't profit you in the world in the way that you think it should. You want to make millions of dollars, but you want to do it your way. And to that I say, that is no way at all. I have been very well taken care of, but I have never, not even once had to deviate from what I believe to do so. As a matter of fact, it was when I started to tell my whole truth that the blessings poured in. And I believe those two things coincide. The riches of the wicked, they got a shelf life. And what you're doing, sis, is wicked as hell. It's wicked. Let it go. Drop it. You have an opportunity right now. We will do our best to do the sabbatical off of you because, my goodness, hopefully the next time we're talking about you, there has been a great awakening because folks have been praying for you. They really have. They miss the old Candace. Like your buddy Kanye. They used to say they miss the old Kanye straight from the soul Kanye. They miss the old cuckoo straight from the Lou cuckoo, straight from the hoo, straight from the do. You know what I mean? They miss the old cuckoo. They miss the pre-cuckoo Candace. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there. Or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace. Aquarius. Where?
I've been up for hours, I've been up for days, you staring at the ceiling, I've been counting strays, you I've been in my feelings, I've been out of mind, I've been getting visions of the other kind. I've been up for weeks, I'm in the count of blessings over count of sheep. I can never be the type to limit when it comes to me. I used to be the pleaser for the people, I ain't